I talk, you listen, or you turn the channel. Either way, I'm still going to talk. Welcome to Unfiltered. Just trying to figure out what order I'm going to do things in. I've got a stack this week. Oh my God, I'm probably not going to get to everything. I'll start. Andrea handed me a note just before the show started. Apparently, I got a phone call from a lady named Diane Postrich from Marlboro, and she wanted to discuss some of Marlboro's school issues with me. So I'm going to get in touch with her, follow up on that, and maybe have a report for next week as to what's going on with the Marlboro school system. And if I can't get anything accomplished, I will certainly put her in touch with Chris and Randy and see if they can help out with the situation. So thanks for your call, Diane, and I will certainly be in touch with you within the next couple days. All right, where do I start? Warren Buffett is the richest man in the world. $63 billion for one guy. Why he doesn't share some of that, I don't know. And why he doesn't run for president. I mean, he could run this country for 4 years on $63 billion, maybe. Maybe not. Anyway, Gates. Bill Gates is down to third. So, now, I want to say I read a story about, I thought Warren Buffett had given a large chunk of his money to Bill Gates, or was it Bill Gates that gave a large chunk of his money to Warren Buffett? Something, but anyway, there was, one of them gave a huge amount of money to the other ones. And I can't remember. I thought it was Gates. It was the other way around. It was Buffett gave to the Gates Foundations or something, an ungodly amount of money. And it's like one rich guy giving to another rich guy, and then they just swap places on the chart. And then next year they give it back, and then he's the richest, he's the richest, he's the richest, he's the richest. That's the way it works. The money changes hands, but it only changes hands within a few. And if you look at the Fortune 500 lists of the 10 richest guys in the world over the past 10 years, the names haven't changed. You know, once in a while one gets added. But other than that, pretty much the names don't change. It's always the same guys that are the richest guys in the world. I don't know where Branson was. Anybody know if that Branson was even on the list? Because he's like huge too. Because he spends a lot of his money on like toys and stuff. Speaking of toys, Sharper Image filing for bankruptcy stuff there. The hell's the word? Reorganizing under bankruptcy. Sharper Image. And they're talking that a lot of these places, a lot of these, like, especially restaurant and small store gift cards, use them. Because when this recession finally blows into what it's going to be, those will be the first places that go under. And you'll see chains like Applebee's and places like this, maybe not Applebee's, but big name places that will go under rather quickly. All right. What else have we got? Maybe I'll save that. No, I'll do that now. Tomorrow night, actually Sunday morning, 2 o'clock, it's time to change the clocks ahead. Jump ahead 1 hour. Now, this is going to create all kinds of drowsy people on Monday. Because your body doesn't just jump into the new time. You figure your meal times will be an hour different. Your sleep patterns will be different. You'll be getting up an hour earlier. A chronobiologist at the University of Texas at Houston, Michael Smolensky. He's a researcher who documented a rise in automobile accidents within a few days after the spring time change. Now, they say the fall time change doesn't affect the body as much. But the spring ahead, I guess, wreaks havoc on us. National Sleep Foundation poll from 2006 showed that 28% of teens fall asleep in school, in classes, after the spring ahead change, and 15% of teenagers drive drowsy at least once a week. Or maybe that's not even have anything to do with the clock change. That's just your normal teenager. But a lot of the problems is that people don't spend as much time outdoors. So the sun, which is the natural timekeeper, forever, the sun is what keeps our time, not what's on our wrist. As far as our bodies go, the sun is what keeps time. People are spending less time outdoors, more time under lights. There's shift work, second and third shift work that they're saying now is a possible carcinogen and can cause cancer. And there have been studies that show that women who work third shift are more prone to breast cancer. And I mean, it's because we're not doing what our body is supposed to be doing. We're forcing our bodies to do things that it's not meant to do. We're meant to be up and about in the sunshine and down and with our eyes closed when it's dark out. And what we had to go and screw up and invent electricity and everything else. 24/7 society is pretty much what it is now. Used to be, when I was a kid, when the majority of our crew were kids, all except for Rob. This was before Rob was born. At 9 o'clock at night, you stopped shopping because there was no place to shop. Now you can spend all night shopping. You can sit on your computer. Or if you were researching something when I was a kid, your research ended at 9 o'clock because that's when the library closed. And no internet, but people are spending the time when they should be resting. We have this whole thing where you can do stuff anytime you want to do it. And it's wrong. There used to be two places in the country that were 24/7, Vegas and New York City. And that was it. You wanted 24/7, you went to Vegas. And that's what Vegas was. That was the whole draw to Vegas, was it was 24/7 and no other place was. But anyway, the whole spring ahead thing, I don't know. It's stupid. Kids going to school at 7 o'clock in the morning, and I don't see an energy savings in the spring ahead. I'm sorry. You still turn your lights on when it gets light, or turn your lights on when it gets dark, and turn your lights off when it gets light. And whether you have your lights on from 5 o'clock at night until 8 o'clock at night, or you have them on from 5 o'clock in the morning until 8 o'clock in the morning. Either way, you've still got your lights on. It's either dark in the morning or it's dark at night. So, I don't know. All right. Let me do a story before crew call. Because this I found yesterday. And I grabbed it because I knew it would kind of make Andrea mad if I stole a NASCAR story and she didn't even see it. Well, apparently a man named Big George Helms, he had tickets to the Las Vegas race this past weekend. And unfortunately, he died on December 28th of a heart attack. This man was 6 foot 5 inches tall, 400 pounds, and always dreamed of being a NASCAR driver. Well, let me tell you what good friends he has. His friends approached his mother at the memorial service and asked his mother if they could take his ashes to the race. And she said, sure, he'd like that. Once they got to the race, they arranged for Mike Harmon. And I don't know what car he drives, but he drives a Nationwide series car, which is the old Bush series, right? Okay. They had this driver. This driver taped the urn with this guy's ashes to the fire extinguisher in his car for practice last Friday. Yeah. Well, last Saturday. So the guy got to be in a NASCAR and ride in a NASCAR. So, and apparently it was weird because Harmon, the driver, told ESPN he swore he heard somebody squealing when he went through a couple of turns, which is weird. He said he heard noise he'd never heard before. It only happened once while he was going through turn 1 and 2. The guy's brother said it, watching the whole thing, actually brought tears to his eyes. I mean, it's very, very cool. And, you know, I mean, what are friends for? You know? All right, if we're set. We had some extraneous noise going on out there, Bruce? Or what's going on? I'll find out here in a minute. On camera 1, we got Rob back with us. And let me tell you, this kid, he knows what he's doing. 2 weeks, and he's pretty much got this deal down. I like it. Camera 3, we got Greg, as usual. And Greg will be working Sunday at the improv show that I'm going to talk about here in a little while. In the booth, Bruce and Andrea. What's going on, buddy?
How's it going out there, Rick?
We got, like, extra noise out there?
Yeah, somebody had the TV turned on. Apparently, Lee popped his head back in long enough to turn the TV on and leave the volume on, and it was kind of distracting from in here in the booth because I was hearing noises from where it shouldn't have been coming from. But
yeah, okay.
But that's all right. We got it under control.
Well, I heard the noise out of the back of my ear, and I was wondering if it was somehow coming through our system.
Yeah, that was my fear as well, but no, it was outside the booth, and we got it taken care of. We're doing all right now. So.
Lee's probably checking the broadcast from City Council.
Yes, he was.
Because he's running that this week. Galen's sick, right, and Tracy's down, and I hope both of them feel better. So, how's your week?
My week's not been too bad. Doing all right at work.
Working hard?
Yeah, they're running us 10 hours a day right now, trying to get stock built up on this new product that Smith's is launching now. So.
Got to get Las Vegas some clean needles, man.
Yeah, we got to work real hard to get Vegas some clean needles. We've got the FDA running through our place this week and checking things out, checking our processes and all of our paperwork and documentation. So it's been quite a bit of fun.
Oh, yeah, we went through that at Athens, beginning of the year, recertifications and all the updated paperwork and all that. Yeah, what a beautiful thing, huh?
Yep, you got to love the pencil pushers.
Yeah.
But they keep everybody in line and make sure that a safe product is out on the market. So
that's the important thing.
Yeah, so we don't have repeats of the Vegas situation. So
cool.
But no, so how's things going for you?
Nice. Yeah, other than the weather.
Oh.
You know, tramping around in this crap that we call in late winter, early spring.
It's quite sloppy out there now, yeah, with the ice melting and freezing and melting and freezing now with the weather change. But
I'm telling
hopefully
you,
we can just get rid of this stuff and get to some greener days.
Yes, and actually there is a little patch of grass outside the studio. I saw it. Lee and I saw it today. It's great.
So
it's brown grass, but it's grass.
That's right, and quite wet, But that was about it. We had some fun watching the race this week, and Andrea will fill you in on what happened during the race and what happened after the race. And
great, yeah, because now that I took the best
human
human interest story away from you, Andrea.
Yes, it was an awesome human interest story, Rick, and I applaud you for it. The race went really well. Junior finished second to Carl Edwards. Carl Edwards, as far as I'm concerned, stole it. Didn't deserve to win it, but he did. Uh, and like I told Bruce afterwards, see what I mean about green cars? Get Junior out of green, and he runs a good race. So he had a green. Had green last week, and he didn't run half as well as he did with the blue car for the Bud Shootout in this past one. And I mean, look at Jimmy Johnson, blue cars. Anybody in a non-blue car, I mean a non-green car, they do real good. And all he could say was, yes, dear, yes, dear, yes, dear. But anyways, it ended up finishing, the first three were Carl Edwards, Dale Jr., and Greg Biffle. And that was a good run for Biffle. Denny Hamlin, you'll be happy to know, came in ninth.
Oh,
Which
nice.
was a good finish for him. And my guy, Martin Truex, came in way down in 15th.
Well,
So,
15th isn't way down.
well, no, it's not, but I wish he could have done better. As it turned out, Bruce won the pool.
Oh, good deal.
Yeah, that
Good
was
for him.
cool. Anyways, as it turned out, now when the race ended, it looked like Carl Edwards was going to be in first place in the standings. However, they found what they called an issue with his, they said gas cap. Well, I think of a gas cap as a little teeny tiny thing, or oil cap rather. Well, and they said the oil cap was off. Well, I'm sorry, the oil cap wasn't off. It was this big old honking oil cover. It was a cover that was supposed to be bolted down, duct taped down, because if it's not, it causes air to get in there and more downforce, which means you stick to the track a little bit better, especially in the corners. So they took that thing back, they checked it out, and he ended up getting assessed 100 points.
Wow.
Dropped him from the first place in standings all the way down to 7th. So, oops, sucks to be him. And then his crew chief, $100,000 fine and 6-week suspension.
Wow.
Yeah. So this, we're talking about, which is standard, we're talking about the COT. They're holding pretty steadfast on this. Now, when Robbie Gordon had an issue with the nose of his vehicle, that went through a lot of crap. They assessed him all kinds of the points and the damages and all of that, but he appealed it. Well, the appeal was overturned, and he got his points back, and it moved him from 37th, which is out of the 35 that are locked in, up to 21st. By doing that, that made it a lot better for him as a single car owner in particular. Now, the one thing that I found kind of unusual is that they did uphold the fine to his crew chief and the suspension and all, but they increased it to $150,000. So that, which was kind of weird. But now, the standings as they are right now are, my guy, Martin Truex, came up 4 places into 8th in the standings. Dale Jr. jumped 13 positions up
Wow.
to 10th. Denny came up 11 positions up into 20th. So that's really good, and there's a lot of racing left before the chase starts for these guys.
Oh, yeah, we're just in the
Oh.
early stretches.
Oh, yeah, they're really going to. They're going to change a lot. Now, the one thing that was really, it was a really rough ride for Tony Stewart. He slammed the wall really hard. Not only did he get banged up in the nationwide one, turned right around and smacked the wall again, got banged up in the cup race. So he was pretty sore the next day. Then, on top of that, I think it was, I want to say less than 5 to go, but I'm not sure. It ended up being a red flag and then having a green-white, was it green-white checkered?
Got that extra commercial, right?
Oh, yes. But it was really, really, it could have been more serious than it was. When they took off, Dale Jr. spun his back tires a little bit. Jeff Gordon dinged Matt Kenseth. Kenseth ended up spinning some and dropping way back. Gordon wound up taking one heck of a ride, wound up slamming into the inside wall, radiator torn off. I mean, you name it, it happened. It just tore the car apart. He was pretty sore the next day, and they're hollering, saying we need some better improvements on those tracks. So there's probably some stuff that's going to happen with that. The only other thing is this week, Bruce is starting to get bored. He doesn't like all this. This week, Stewart is celebrating his 10th anniversary with Home
Joe Gibb?
Depot. So he's going to have a new paint scheme. And this will be at Atlanta, so everybody look out for it.
Atlanta's usually a tough race, too.
All right, and that's it. And now Bruce can relax.
Now Bruce can relax. At least until Greg gets set up down in the bunker. All right. I'm going to do close to home first, I guess. Apparently in Rutland, Vermont, there's no more money for overtime for the snowplow drivers. So early in the week, it was announced that if snow fell in Rutland on a night or a weekend, that the snow would stay there until normal business hours. Thursday, it was announced, Wednesday or Thursday, the mayor of Rutland said that he would send the plow trucks out regardless, when they were needed. So, but that's, yeah, it's probably a common theme among a lot of towns in this area this winter. And it seems like everything would even out. But apparently if you have a light winter, all the money that you were going to spend, they don't save for the next winter. They spend it on something else or something. I don't know. But I know we've had weak years. We've had heavy years. And they always talk more about shortages than they do about overstocks. So, and extra money in the budget. So, I don't know whether it's the state. I know the state decides some of it, city decides some of it, but I don't know what happens when you completely run out of money, run out of salt, and can't do anything with your roads. I mean, is there ever a point where they say, no, we don't plow anymore? It doesn't seem like that is even possible for them to say, just because there's no money, we're not going to plow. There's safety issues and stuff. Fire trucks still have to get through. So either way. Meanwhile, Burlington, Vermont, way up north on the shores of Lake Champlain, a $21 million plan to redevelop the abandoned Morin generating plant on the Lake Champlain waterfront has been approved overwhelmingly by the city voters. And it calls, get this, calls for the building to house an indoor rock and ice climbing wall, as well as an upper floor restaurant overlooking the lake and a seasonal outdoor ice skating rink. The city's share of the cost is expected to be roughly $7.4 million. We spent $4 million on a roundabout. For $3 more million, we could have got a nice place like this. Rock climbing wall, ice climbing wall. Oh, that would be. I mean, I was in high school when the high school first implemented its challenge course. I don't know if are you involved in any of that, Rob? You ever taken that?
I know where it is, though.
It used to be in the gym when we first started, and run by Coach Minichello, and that was one of the best physical education courses, as well as it built up a sense of self-worth and trust in other students because you worked as teams. And I mean, to have a rock climbing wall, they're talking about the big railroad property and the big center that's going to go in there, sports complex. And wouldn't that be a cool idea to have a great rock climbing gym that had a separate area where you could have an ice climbing wall?
Better ice arena than over here,
Yeah. And I mean, just there's places in Manchester with rock climbing gyms, and I've never seen an ice climbing wall though. And as far as I knew, the only way you could get experience ice climbing is to go out and find someplace safe. And around here, the only place I think you can go is North Conway, that they'll teach ice climbing and things like that. But what a great thing. So that's going to be happening in Burlington. So, yeah, and it's apparently, and I'm not sure how old the building is, but it's like some of these old buildings in Keene. Instead of just tearing them down, why not, renovate them into something useful like that? Keene Middle School may be an upcoming example of that. Why not use, turn that into some kind of a complex where you could, I hope they don't get rid of the theater. That's all I can say. All right. Daytona Beach, Florida. Can I just change cameras on you, Bruce? Is that all right? Daytona Beach, Florida. About 500 women saddled up on their Harleys and took to the streets in the first Women's Day ride of Bike Week. And apparently it was a charity ride. They raised almost $65,000 to support summer camps for kids with muscular dystrophy. Yeah. Imagine all women like Donna on their Harleys. I don't know if Donna went down this year or not for Bike Week, but I know they used to go down quite a bit. But I thought that was kind of a neat thing. The women on the Harleys raising money. And it's, there are some countries women can't ride motorcycles. They can't even drive. So, speaking of which, I didn't write it down, and I just saw the headline, but it made me so mad I didn't even want to read the article. There's a college in Boston, Boston University or Boston College, is cutting some of their fitness centers, apparently. It's Harvard?
Harvard, yeah.
Is going to be closing their fitness centers for certain hours every week to men so that Muslim women can exercise. Because they can't exercise around men. Apparently there's rules about where they can exercise and how they can exercise. And you know something? Sounds pretty much like they're treating women like second-class citizens. And in this country, you do not do that. Regardless of what your religion is, you don't treat women different. They're equal. They have the same jobs. They can wear the same clothes. They can do anything a guy can. And some of them can do more. Yeah, guys don't multitask. Women are way better multitaskers than guys. But maybe Muslim women can't even multitask. If they don't let them drive, they don't let them exercise, maybe they don't let them multitask. Or maybe that's all they can do is multitask. I don't know. That's stupid anyway. Separating them. Of course. Oh, is he ready? Just say something, Bruce. You're the one with the voice of God in there. Why don't you just tell me to shut up?
Shut up. We got Tarzan ready to go.
Thanks, buddy. All right. Live from the bunker, deep within Cheshire TV, we've got Tarzan from Bunker BS.
What the hell's going on, Rick?
What's going on, buddy?
Rock and roll, rock and roll.
Yeah, man.
Well, this is not a number I like giving, but it's 3,974. My sisters and brothers have died in this war, Rick. And what else can you say? But bless you people that are giving your families up for whatever reason this is going on. We all know. We all read the papers. We all watch TV. There's a deceased. And hats off to those lady bikers, too, for raising that dough. What more can you ask for? This is the type of country we live in where we raise our own money to fund our own projects, to build our own playgrounds. And what's next? Building our own freaking schools? Who knows, right, Rick?
We may have to do that, Tarzan.
Good point. It's taken Uncle Sam 25 years after this guy died to award him his medal. Deceased Korean veteran, full-blooded Sioux Indian, to receive the nation's highest honor, Sergeant Woodrow Wilson Keeble, also known as Chief, right? They also called him Woody, too. And this is a cheat. He was cheated, and this is a shameful blunder. You get my drift, brother?
I do get your drift, and we went over. Me and you talked about this article earlier in the week, and yeah, it's a shame that some people even said it was prejudice was why he didn't get the medal because he was an Indian.
In one afternoon, he proceeded to kill 16 enemy soldiers after all his men were being gunned down.
Wow.
He ended up saving a bunch of guys that day, and 25 years after he died, which he died in '82, he was finally awarded his just desserts, and my hat's off to him too, brother.
That's great.
There's nothing like giving a veteran their just desserts. We got plenty of them coming down the pike, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody knows that. This isn't anything Tarzan's making up or just or giving you that you don't already know. They're coming home mentally malnutrition, demented, shell shock. This all over the news today about reports about it. It's driving me insane. You know, I'll tell you what, too, Rick. You know, if you're going to commit insurance fraud, and then you're going to run around the top of buildings shoveling the snow off, and you don't see the Channel 9 news truck pull up, or maybe you do and you don't hide anyways, then you're probably going to go to jail and get busted for what you did. You know? I can't believe that story. Not only did they catch him once, but they cut the guy twice on camera. Now, are we raising good criminals here or what? Now, can't we do better than this, people?
I missed that one, buddy.
Oh, I don't know how you can miss it any more than, well, maybe you missed it, but he missed the freaking trucks too, taking pictures of him as he's standing up there shoveling snow.
What was he doing? Like a workman's comp fraud or something?
Yeah, of course. And,
Oh, nice.
you know, we're going to pull the little insurance fraud, but here we are, the rest of us, we've done our time, and we're getting our earned dough, but this guy wanted to make it a free-for-all that day.
Oh, yeah.
He's having a good time probably there in Manchester. You know, today I'm channel surfing, Rick, and I got Brett the crybaby Favre. You know, I thought there wasn't any crying in sports. You know, I just about had it with these guys. You don't see Corporal Joe Schmo walk up to the podium and go, yeah, it's good to be home. I lost both my arms. Half my platoon's dead, and I don't think I'm going to make it through tomorrow. You know, this guy's getting $1 million just to talk for 10 minutes to say, I'm leaving.
Yeah,
don't cry to me on TV. Don't cry to me, Brett. Okay? I can't stand it. It just drives me insane.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and the whole story today in USA Today, or yesterday in USA Today, was that he's mentally fatigued because he plays 16 games a year, for God's sakes.
I'm sorry. I'm talking about mentally fatigued. 16 months in combat. 16 months as a SEAL. 16 months as a nurse.
Exactly.
You know, it's just no call for it. And
Exactly.
my biggest problem, too, is I gave the Red Sox, I beached them out last week, but now I heard that they actually ended up going to Walter Reed, which really made my day, and I was glad that that was on the news after the show that night. I really appreciate them showing up and doing that.
Yeah. Well, I think they care, too.
You know, the last week I reported about a woman colonel. She took over their base there in Baghdad, Ridge Bay base.
Yep.
And I happened to forget to mention that base is 182 years old. This happens to be the first woman in 2008, you know,
Wow.
that's taken over this base. It's incredible.
Nice.
Incredible.
That is incredible.
I tell you what, Rick, since when does Country Western and Kenny Chesney belong in the same sentence? Now, I've been channel surfing today, and I come across Kenny singing about a song, Shift Work. Now, it probably took him about 3 minutes to write it after saying 311, 711, 117. Singing it over and over and over. And what, making it to the top for 1 week, and now he's like back down to 26. I'm sorry, Kenny, your song doesn't work. You know, you showed some of the pictures of the people working. I don't even know if you've ever been inside a tannery, Kenny. Know what it's like to work, really work 12-hour shift.
Well, I think he
Canada.
does.
That's
Most of those country guys, they're like,
I don't know if he's country, Rick. Looked like more Jamaican country.
no, he's one of the new wave of country stars. Tarzan is what he is. So
Yeah, okay.
yeah.
This is the type of athletes I want to hear about, Rick. I want to hear about athletes in high spirits at Special Olympics games. And I really want to take my hat off to the Keene PD. They pulled a joke on the guy. They gave him a ticket for being the fastest guy in the race, or going too fast in the race. And I just thought that was a kick in the pants.
Hey, look at that picture again, Tarzan. I think that was
I thought
that
that
was
was
Hancock. A Hancock cop, I think.
Oh, I think it's Keene.
Are you sure? Read it again.
Oh, I don't
Better
have
make
my
sure.
glasses.
All right. All right. I thought, yeah, when you showed me that one, I thought it was a Hancock officer that was given the ticket.
Keene. See.
Is it Keene cop? Okay.
Yeah, I did,
Nice.
I did see that. Yeah.
Okay, you did
I
get it
thought
right.
that was a kick in the pants. I really like that story. You know,
That's
I
great.
don't know if anybody's caught it lately, but Channel 8's got a new board or a new programming up. It's giving you news and weather. It's all kinds of newfangled stuff for Channel 8.
Yeah, that's I
Info
can't remember.
line or something.
Info, yeah, the info thing, yeah. Yeah,
I
that's
thought that was really good.
that's
I'm
a-
proud of Lee bringing this TV station up to par and keeping it going like he has.
And actually, that's an actual time-saving thing for Lee, because that system that right there
Yeah.
kicks on. Actually, it'll be demonstrated tonight because Lee's got it set up. If there are any gaps in the programming,
Yeah.
the Nexus, which is what controls the programming here, automatically kicks into that
Right
that
on.
show, that
I was
news
pretty impressed.
info
That
kind of thing.
Station's come a long ways. You know
Yes.
what, ladies and gentlemen? With that, Tarzan's out of here.
Have a good week, Tarzan. Nice. Yeah, Tarzan don't like guys whining about nothing, let me tell you. not when we've got people over in Iraq and Afghanistan and possibly very soon Colombia and Iran and other places. Who knows? Tanks are on the Colombian. Chavez has got tanks on the Colombian border, and I don't know. It's nuts. The entire world is going to hell, and why we don't just stand up, stop helping people, and just stand up and tell people, look, we are the best country in this world, and if you don't like it, well, we'll nuke the hell out of you. We don't care. But nobody messes with the United States. I did a story last summer about a man named Barry Cooper. Remember him? He's the ex-narcotics or the former narcotics officer that put out a videotape about stashing your pot in your car. And he's got other cassettes out like Don't Get Busted Ever or something that tells you all about how to deal with drug laws and drug officers. He's running for Congress. That's right, down in Texas. He's running as a Libertarian candidate in the 31st Congressional District in Central Texas. And he says that marijuana laws in particular are misguided, and more trouble comes from arresting these potheads than just letting them go about their stuff. But I guess he's on a ticket with a Republican candidate and a Democrat candidate, and the article said none of them are opposed. So I don't really know what a congressional district is. So what else do we have for little news? This one's kind of funny. From Columbia, South Carolina, legislators are considering a bill that was sponsored by GOP State Senator Ronnie Cromer. The bill, if passed, will make indigo the state color. Nice shade of indigo. The same color that's the background for their state flag. And indigo cultivation was one of South Carolina's first cash crops. So I mean, it all makes sense that indigo should be the state color, except for one thing. And this senator is taking a lot of flack over the fact that South Carolina is a red state run by Republicans. So how could they possibly have indigo as a state color? Or maybe that's just goes to show you. As soon as you make blue the official state color, you've got to elect a Democratic Congress. All right. Phoenix, Arizona. Another thing that's probably long overdue. Police departments at 3 large public universities in Arizona are arming themselves with high-power military-style assault rifles. And officials say that if they have those, their officers will be able to shoot at targets at the end of long hallways and targets that are atop tall buildings. Said the officers will go through a 40-hour training program to qualify to be issued the rifles, which will be kept in their patrol cars. Now, on one hand, this is maybe a good thing. On the other hand, don't you think somebody could break into the patrol car and steal them? I don't know. But you've got to have, apparently these are universities that have their own police departments. So seems like they'd have a SWAT team and everything else in place. The problem isn't with being able to snipe the guy from 1,000 yards away. It's somebody, the time that you have to wait for the cops to get there and take the gun out of the car and get down to the other end of the hallway. Meanwhile, there's a guy pulling a trigger where if, give a teacher a handgun. Although some teachers these days, with the trouble with tenure and everything, maybe they shouldn't have handguns. All right. I'm at 42. Let me do a couple of these real quick, because I found a couple of useless facts that I thought would probably be fairly good.
Did you still want an intermission?
Oh, geez, I forgot all about that. Yeah, it's because I didn't write a card this week as to what was going on.
I know, we
But
didn't
yeah.
have any instructions to go by in here either.
No, I know.
We're just kind of winging it.
Another musical interlude. I think that's really nice. It showcases the bands that played at the music festival. Some of them are local. This band tonight happens to be from Fitchburg, Mass. They're called the 12th of Never. And it also showcases what a crew from Cheshire TV can do. So enjoy. The 12th of Never, a great band. And you know, I was doing handheld for that band, and when they first came out, I was a little freaked because when I'm doing handheld, I like drums. I mean, face it, nothing like shooting a handheld camera through drums. Always something to frame with or use different aspects of the drums. This band came out, had no drums. I was like, oh, great, what am I going to shoot now? But we got some fantastic shots of that band. Different angles with the cellos and the violins, and they were an awesome band. And we'll see more of them in the weeks to come. So, all right. The one quick useless piece of useless information that I grabbed for this week. I grabbed a bunch, but I'll do one. Because you may be able to use this. Before the turn of the century, newspapers were called tabloids, chronicles, gazettes, that kind of thing, telegraphs. And most of them had local stories because the faraway stories were too old because it took a while, like the Pony Express, to come across with the news that something happened, you know. With the advent of the teletype, stories could be broadcast all over at unheard of speed. Several of the papers started carrying a section with stories from all over, north, east, south, and west. And that's why they were called newspapers. North, east, west, and south. Pretty neat, huh? Useless information. You can use it to freak somebody out someday. Say, I know why they're called newspapers. That's why. Because they started carrying stories from all over. All the four corners. All right. I got two. I guess politics has been pretty big this week, apparently. Because McCain is reportedly the Republican candidate. He hasn't chosen a running mate now, so we don't know who he's going to choose for a running mate. He could choose some super dud, and that wouldn't be good. Hillary Clinton pulled up on Barack Obama in the backstretch for the final draft, or something. I don't know. But they're right there neck and neck now. And here's the stupidest thing this week. Hillary's acting like a schoolgirl, like a little kid from elementary school out of the recess yard, because she wants Florida and Michigan to have a do-over, because Michigan and Florida moved their primaries up, and we're told by the Democratic, whoever they are, the people that run all that stuff, that if they moved their primaries up, their delegates would not be counted. But now Hillary thinks that they should all vote again and have the delegates counted. How stupid is this? We're just going to make up our own rules, and if somebody doesn't like the way it goes, they go, oh, do-over. I didn't like the way that turned out. Do-over. That's how she's going to run the country, apparently. Yeah. Do-over. You know? Shit. There's no do-overs in politics. I'm sorry.
There's no do-overs in life, man.
The elections. And see, this is why it upsets me, because we've got people this stupid running for office. We've got 200 friggin' years of elections. Nobody's ever said, do-over. Can we have a do-over? I didn't like that.
What
Do-over.
frightens me is the people that are still willing to vote for her.
She's getting crazier. I got to go to a different camera. What camera do you want me to go to? It's 3 a.m. Your kids are safely in bed. The phone's ringing in the White House. Who do you want to answer it? You know who I want to answer it? Anybody! As long as it doesn't ring 8 or 10 times. The phone ringing off the hook in that commercial. Nobody's picking it up. Somebody answered. You'd think in an emergency somebody would pick it up the second ring. You know, the question, the commercial should have been, it's 3 a.m. Your kids are tucked safely in bed. Somewhere something's happening in the world. Who do you think should have their finger on the button? A black guy with years of repressed anger because his ancestors were slaves? Or a woman who just is having PMS? I mean, what happens if Bill has another affair? She probably wouldn't even think twice. So, boop, push the button. I'm pissed and the world's not going to stop me. You know, actually, I think, in all honesty, I think that if you call the White House number, it's probably one of those voice-automated switchboards. So there's the answer to that question. You get rid of the commercials, it's the computer voice that answers the phone. If you know your party's extension, please dial it now. Otherwise, leave a message.
Don't forget, Rick, you have to push the right button to decide whether you're going to have English or Spanish or French or
Oh, that's right,
whatever.
yes.
Don't forget that
That's
button.
that's the first thing. If you're calling the White House, if you're Spanish speaking, press 1. If you're German speaking, press 2. If you're Russian speaking, press 3. It goes all the way up. They got like 999 languages, apparently. Anybody can call the White House. I should roll right into this next one, because that a lot of people might have said, you know, that last comment about Hillary was a little edgy. And you know, I've been hearing that from the start of this show. You know, you're kind of on edge, Rick. You know, you're saying some stuff that maybe shouldn't be said on TV for a 7 o'clock at night show. Well, now 6 o'clock at night show. People, you think I'm edgy. You ever watch morning TV? This is when pre-kindergarten kids are watching TV. Regis and Kelly the other day, 9 o'clock in the morning, talking about anal leakage. 9 o'clock in the morning. If that's not edgy for morning TV, it was funny. But it was the whole bit about, they were talking about the pills, you know, and all these, the side effect things. And why is it everything you take that you've got some disorder that you need to take a pill for, one of the side effects is anal leakage. But 9 o'clock in the morning. Here's one. Tarzan is going to love me for mentioning this, because this is going to be the worst of all. The View. At 11 o'clock in the morning. This is 5 women, old women. They spent 20 minutes the other day talking about vaginas. At 11 o'clock in the morning.
You can't say that on TV, can you?
And how much sex is enough sex or something? Here's a story Regis and Kelly broke, I think, yesterday. A study's been done. You know what the best form of foreplay is? For the husband to clean the house. There was some study or poll or something Regis and Kelly were talking about, and that's it. They said a husband that cleans a house will get more nookie than a husband that doesn't. Stupid as that. This is morning TV.
That should be on at night so the husband can see it.
Geez, Jimmy Kimmel's not as crude as The View is. And let's talk about American Idol, because they're in middle American Idol. And it appears again this year, another controversy, that a couple of seasons ago there was a girl named Frenchie. Big black girl, huge up top. She was kicked off. She had a beautiful voice. Probably could have won the thing. She was a little chunky. Matter of fact, I think she was one of the contestants that Simon told, you know, well, you've got a good voice, but you're too fat to be a singer. One of those kind of comments. She got kicked off because apparently, in order to make some money earlier in her life, she had posted some nude pictures on an internet site. Was kicked off. Sorry, you can't be American Idol. This year, there's one of the male contestants. One of his jobs, he's a stripper. And they're not kicking him off. So, it's crap. It's what it is, you know. You can't be American Idol because you're a stripper. Oh my God, wait a minute. Somebody better tell Brittany she's out. You know? And speaking of Brittany, I found out, I watched a movie over the weekend that proved to me that the whole Britney thing is nothing new. It's old. The movie was called Autofocus, and it talked about the story of Bob Crane from Hogan's Heroes. And what a scumbag he was. But I guess it was the whole thing. He went up. All right, 1 minute. We'll talk about Bob Crane later. Sunday, March 9th, 4 o'clock, this coming Sunday at Heberton Hall, Acting on Impulse. Free admission this week. Doors open at 3:30. Come down and see some local entertainment. Want to thank my crew and my sponsors, Mom's Tattoo and Gemini Screen Print. Coming up on No Spin with Randy and Chris. Maybe they'll talk about the fact that Chris still has his Christmas lights on his house. I'm not worried about the ones outside. It's snowy, but he's still got the candles in the windows he keeps turning on with a little wreaths around them. This week's guests on No Spin, Liz Coppola, Neil Donegan. They're going to be talking about all the articles for the vote on Tuesday. Till next week, peace.